Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Today I am doing a recipe on how to make gravy 101. Very simple, easy way to do a gravy, and I'm going to show you the process from beginning to end. Now yesterday I tried to do a live YouTube video. It did not work, so that's the reason why I'm doing it this way, because I still want to show you this, but I don't know what happened to that video, but it was awful. It was too blotched up. I think my internet was too slow. So if you've seen that, I am so sorry. That's why I'm redoing it. First thing is I use a cast iron frying pan. And the reason why I use a cast iron is it has an even conduction of heat, which makes it better for the gravy, and it browns up better if you want to brown a gravy. I'm just using some all-purpose flour, and today I've got a little bit, which is enough for what I'm going to do today. I've got some canola oil that I'm going to be using. I have got a glass of water sitting to the side. This is full of water. You're going to need a spatula, and you're going to need a whisk. And my secret ingredient is chicken bouillon cubes. If you're doing this for Thanksgiving, I don't know if they have turkey bouillon cubes or not, but this right here is going to eliminate the salt, so you don't have to add salt to it, and it'll season it exactly right. No more, no less. It'll be exactly the way you need it. And I have dissolved one cube already. As you can see, that's a bouillon cube. And if you can't get it, I'm impatient with bouillon cubes. So what I do is once it's been sitting in the hot water for about, I don't know, 10 or 15 seconds, something like that, I end up lifting it up and smashing it with my finger, and it instantly goes into granules. And then you just want to stir it to make sure, because my water's hot but not boiling hot. And then you just, oh, I see another bouillon cube. There we do. So let me break that one up, because I want to show you how easy this actually is. Now, for your oil, now, if you've seen my Instagram, let me explain this while I'm letting this heat up, and I'm going to put oil in it. You can use oil, you can use butter. You can use sausage grease, bacon grease, whatever you want. While that heats up, I'm going to, if y'all seen my Instagram yesterday, and I'm on Instagram, I'm more active on Instagram than I am anything else. If you're not following me on Instagram, I'll have a link below for that Instagram, if you want to follow me there. So now I've let my pan heat up, and my oil has gotten pretty warm, and I'm going to add some flour to it, and I just kind of judge it, because I won't really know until I start this stirring process right here, whether or not I have. Now, as you can see, I have way too much flour compared to my oil ratio. So I'm going to add just a tad more oil. And always start out with just a little bit, because you can't really take away. So I just always go a little bit. Now, if you're trying to make enough for a gravy boat, you're going to need a little more gravy than this to start out. And how thin or thick you want it will make a difference too. because you can add water to it and it'll make a whole lot more. So on my Instagram, if you remember me showing you, if you follow me on Instagram, a grease pot that went up on the stoves. Do y'all remember those? My grandmother had one, and after my grandmother would fix breakfast, she would make bacon and eggs and all of that. She would take her bacon grease and stick it in that pot. And then when she needed to make gravy, that's how she made her gravy. I feel like I need a little bit more flour. So I'm just going to start out with, whoops, that might be too much. There we go. Normally I get it to about a paste consistency is about where I go with it. I go about a paste consistency is what I try to do. The longer you let this cook, the darker it will turn. But if you're just doing this for like turkey, you know, you could go about right here. I'm going to go a little bit darker, not much. But I like to cook my flour just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add the chicken broth to it. And that's when I put the spatula down and I get the whisk. And I stir it as I'm adding it. Oops, sorry. That's why I use the whisk, and it keeps it from getting lumped. And then I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit, and I'm going to constantly stir until this gets about the thickness I want. But it needs to get to the boiling point in order to thicken. But that eliminates having to put salt in your gravy. Sometimes I add too much salt. Sometimes I don't add enough salt. And then it ends up not being, seeing it to the boiling point. And I'm just going to keep stirring it for a minute. And you don't want to quit stirring it, because if you do, it could possibly stick. And remember also, as it dies down and cools, it will thicken. And then you might want to, you know, if it's too thick, you might want to add water. But I let it boil for a minute. And I actually did a cup and a fourth of water to that bouillon cube, because I don't like the bouillon cube to be too salty. So if I do that, then I make it just about right. And then I can always add a little bit of water to this, which I have standby if it gets too thick. But I think it's where it needs to be. I'm going to cut it off and I'm going to keep stirring it. And that's how easy it is. Oh, and I'm going to add some of this. Show you the consistency. It's still boiling a little bit, but it hasn't cooled. But you can see it's kind of thin. Don't get worried and think, oh no, I gotta add more flour, and no, just let it cool and it will thicken. I guarantee it will thicken if you just let it cool. Now it's gonna take a little bit longer in a cast iron frying pan, because cast iron frying pans hold heat in them, and so it'll take, you know, a few minutes for it to cool down. But I didn't even add water to this, because this is just about where I want it, because I know it's going to thicken. And once you pour your turkey drippings in there, it's going to be amazing. and then you pulled in the turkey flavor into those drippings. I've got a couple of tips while we're waiting for this to cool. See, it's getting thicker already. I've got a couple of tips for you for this Thanksgiving. If you're cooking your own turkey and you're doing it the day before, and you don't want to carve your turkey, like our family does a turkey and a ham, and you don't want to carve the turkey, take it to your butcher, and your butcher will cut it up for you and put it on a platter with some like a foam platter type thing, and then you just take it out and put it on your serving dish. He will also cut up your ham for you as well. If it's something that you would like, whoever your grocery store is, just go and make sure your butcher will do that if you just bring it in. I used to do it the day before, so that way my ham and my turkey were already done. You might even want to, because if you do your turkey the day before, you got to let it rest. Then once it's completely cooled and it's not hot anymore, you can take it to them and they will slice it up for you, which is really, really nice. Another tip I have for you for next year, well, with gravy especially, if your turkey turns out dry, and a lot of times people's turkey breasts do turn out extremely dry, have that gravy on hand. And if you get it pre-sliced from the butcher, you could pour a little gravy on it and nobody's going to know that it's dry turkey. As you can see, it's done cooled down and it's done thickened up quite a bit. Like I said, the more you let it sit, the more it'll thicken. And this would be about enough maybe to put in a gravy boat. Maybe a little bit more would be enough to go in a gravy boat. But it is delicious. You don't have to add salt to it because, like I said, the bouillon cube already has all that salt in it. And to me, it's seasoned exactly right every time. There's no guessing on the salt. I think the salt is the biggest thing. Some people over-salt it. I know I have. Some people under-salt it. But I think the bouillon cube makes it exactly perfect every time. So if you like this recipe, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And if you try this out this Thanksgiving, let me know. I'd love to know. It's absolutely delicious. It's no fail. You can't really mess it up. You really can't. So I hope you enjoy it. Y'all come back now. You hear?